Stamford Street, that's more or less the main thoroughfare in Barrowfield, you know. And at the Gallowgate end, you have what they term themselves as a torch. It's a gang, yeah. And at the bottom end, it's the spur, you call them. And on occasion you get these two, which is only natural as gangs have done through the years. You get them rattling one another. And they'll get them throwing missiles, cans, bottles, what have you, at one another, you know. Well, our house is more or less in no man's land, you know. We're sort of, you know, we were in between it, you know. Not just our house, but other houses, you know, other closes. I went out when they've been doing it, and they haven't bothered me. I mean, this is a personal vendetta between the bottom of the street and the top of the street. Unless either end know you are a member of either faction. The nine times out of 10 they don't bother with you, because I've went to the shop when I've been doing it. I've just kept close out the road, and I went down and got bread, cigs, whatever, and came back up the road again.
Just dodged the bricks?
Yeah. I know it's ludicrous to say this, but sometimes it can be funny. You know, you stand and you watch them squealing and bawling at one another, you know. And it can be quite funny at times, as long as nothing untoward has really happened, you know.
Just anywhere. Well, right, this is the tap end, right? This is the torch end, right? This is the mob that all rule and all that, right? Down here, that's all the mob, but they all run away and all that, and we go down.
Come up, well, they're game when they come up when we're all waiting. But see, like, say when we're all waiting, they all scamper like wee rats going in holes.
A mile to the east of Glasgow city centre, behind the stands of Celtic football ground, is Barrowfield, the hardest place to live in a hard city. It's one of the roughest housing schemes in Britain. At first, the police insisted we had the protection to film here. Later, we moved more freely into the Barrowfield Triangle and didn't disappear without trace. But among the 600 or so families here is concentrated a sullen, futile mixture of crime and unemployment, single-parent poverty, and a daily fear of vandalism and violence. But among all the accepted social problems, the clichés of the inner city, there's a dimension of Barrowfield peculiar to Glasgow. 2 or 3 times a week, families watch from their windows as the Torch and the Spur, successors to the razor gangs of the 60s, turn Stamford Street into what the Scottish papers have billed as Nightmare Alley.
Well, the reason this is called Nightmare Alley was going back about 3-4 years ago. This mob down there called the Spur had come up, right? We were just hitting the hatches and all that. So it was that bad, right for the Times and the police. Just put in the Monday morning in the Times and the Record, in the Times it was called Mini Chicago, and in a Record it was called Nightmare Alley. So that is why us Torch boys are called the Nightmare Alley.
You say you use hatchets?
Swords and everything. Swords, steaks.
What kind of swords?
And you've been in a butcher's, getting upon a mince. Well, you walk out and you blag them. And that's that. Put them down your... You go like that, put them down your juke, put it in, and that's it. You go away down and do the milky. Fuck's sake, man.
But you don't use fists?
Fists on them. Sick fuck. You don't go to the guys, man. It's a bruise. A bruise goes away. You go like that, man. That's it, finished. Scars, man.
So when you're fighting, you're bound to get scars?
That's you under attack. That's you promoted.
Are you proud of the scars you get?
No, you don't come proud of that. No, I don't. Well, we've not had much. See, if you had to strip them, no, strip that mob down there.
See scars all the bodies.
That's like a map of Scotland.
What's wrong with this scheme?
It's not a scheme, it's the boys that all fight. That's what it is. The boys. Oh, you shut up, that's just what she thinks about it. Saturday night, that's the best, isn't it? You're windy.
Would you go out with a lad who fought in Stamford Street?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because if you went anywhere, they would end up by doing it, and you would end up winning, you know. It's a fight with everybody.
You would end up getting into the fight as well?
Aye, because if you were out with somebody and they get a doing, you would get into an wouldn't you?
If they were done over, you would get done over too?
Shut up, yeah.
So which part of the street are you from? Are you from Spurland or from Torchland?
Spur.
Is the Spur the best?
No, the best. You need to look round for. None of the best.
But most of the torch and the spur will end up in the hands of the law, probably on the road to prison. The front line of the intensive policing of Barrowfield is Kenny Ross, one-time shot-put champion. He's now the scheme's community bobby.
I have asked them from the top end of the street, I've asked them from the bottom end of the street, and I'm still waiting for a suitable explanation why they fight with each other. They don't like to see each other get into jail, but they can't give me a good reason why they want to fight with each other. They go to the same schools, and then at night they come out and start chasing each other. They'll puff out their puny chests. I think they're a big man.
I just go, thanks.
What are you hanging about here for? You live here, but you don't. You get on with your own house. Beat it. Graham. Good. Move.
If you show fear, you can chuck it. You have always got to have that appearance that you're capable of doing the job. You must never show fear. You can hang up your uniform if you show fear. We would just trample you into the ground.
I'd call this a pigeon loft. What do you call it?
A ducat.
Ducat.
Yeah.
How many birds can you keep in here then?
Up to about 20.
So is that a locked inner door as well?
Yeah.
Good Lord. You could teach Fort Knox a thing or two here. Can I come up?
Yes.
Well, having come to the top of the loft, we're now going back down into the bowels of it.
Yep.
What's the difference between the two sorts of birds here, Andy?
The difference? Well, the ones up the stair, they go out flying. These ones, they stay in here all the time to sit on top of eggs. You know, so that we could breed them.
Have you any young ones here at the moment?
One of the youngest is this one. That's maybe 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. But that's about all. That is pretty young.
Yeah. Now, what's the object of the sport? I mean, do you race them, for example?
No. No, the object of it is to catch other people's birds. You know, they put them out, and we put one out. And it's more or less just a tackle. You go against each other. So
you let one pigeon off from here and you hope it nicks somebody else's pigeon and brings it back with it?
Exactly. That's it.
Do you notice that these pigeons have individual characters?
Well, they have. They definitely have, especially ones for flying. There's one up there. When you whistle on them, they're supposed to get up and fly. Well, they're supposed to, as I said. But this one, you've got to talk to it to get it up to fly. You know, it's just a wee quirk I've got, you know. Let's see. Come on. Come It's just running about here. You know, what you call showing. It's blowing its chest up.
The rituals of East End living, handed down too from mother to daughter. Colleen Dunbar, dressed as it would have been done half a century ago.
Oh, you feel really attractive like that, don't you?
No, I'm here.
Who's made all these for you?
That's it. Over here.
That's you. That's your beautiful lassie. Oh, you're lovely.
I'm going to give it in a minute.
Right, a kiss, 50 pence, for a pound. That's it. Yeah, we kiss, but a pound or 50 pence. Right?
Selling kisses in almost pagan rite. Money collected in a chamber pot lined with salt and baby dolls. After the wedding next week, it'll provide £40 or £50 worth of financial security for Colleen in a new home away from Barrowfield.
That's the deal.